If you guys are not aware, there's this drama. I mean, not really drama, but it's like people are talking about the 4-4-1-1-1 versus the 4-4-3-4-3-1-1-1. There's an essay right here that we can read. Like, if you guys are not aware, right, some builds you can do 4-4-1-1-1. So the 4-4 meaning you use 2-4 echoes, right? So it only works for certain set. For example, like Thunder set, you can use the 4. Because Thunder set, there's this guy, which is the Tempest Memphis. There's Thundering Memphis. You can't use it for the fusion type. If you want the 5-piece, right? The 5-piece is just so good. Ideally, you want to get the 5-piece. So the idea here is you get crit rate here. And then maybe one more 4, you get crit damage. Crit damage, right? And then the 1, you get attack percent, obviously, right? So obviously, early on, people say this one is going to be better. Which I can understand because it's very, very frustrating to farm the 4-3. This one is just way more frustrating to farm. We all know why it's more frustrating to farm, because you gotta find a specific set with the elemental damage bonus. So this one is going to be tough. What's frustrating is you cannot use the same one, right? I think that's what is most frustrating. You cannot use the same one. Everything else is fine. If they allow you to use the same one, I think it's less of an issue. But because they don't allow you to use the same one, so it's a bit of... This one is really hard to min-max, right? If you're trying to min-max, that is, this one is probably like quite hard to min-max. Early on, a lot of people say that this one is going to be more efficient. You know, the one on the left, 4-4-1-1-1. But then, you're farming for early on, why not just start farming for end game? I don't know. I can see resource-wise, this can be an issue for a lot of people, the 3 cost one. The 3 cost and 3 cost is going to be an issue for a lot of people. But what you can also do, right, which I want to give you guys some tips, alright? If you guys are struggling to get the right element damage bonus, right? So right now only Lightning set, Lightning and Havoc can use this one, the 4-4-1-1-1. If you guys are not aware, you cannot put the same echo. For example, like I already got Tempest Memphis. So if I go and use one more Tempest Memphis, right? I go and equip this. It will not get the 5-piece set effect. It says here, same echo will not count towards the Sonata effect. You want the 5-piece effect. So, which is why only the Lightning has multiple 4 echoes, and the Havoc as well. Havoc has Dreamless and Crownless. Lightning has Tempest Memphis, Thundering Memphis, and what's the other one again? Mech Abomination. Nobody used him. Mech Abomination. Nobody used him. Nobody farmed for him. Sad, man. He has long forgotten. But anyways, yeah, the debate here is like, which one is better? Obviously, endgame, the right one is better. The elemental damage bonus is just going to be much more... Here's the thing about elemental damage bonus. You cannot get elemental damage bonus in your substats. Right? Logic, right? You can get crit rate in your substats, you can get crit damage in your substats. You can get attack percent in your substats. But you can never get elemental damage bonus in your substats. Which is why you really want the elemental damage bonus, right? End game wise, I can see the logic there, because the logic would be, especially like the problem is not about the elemental damage bonus. The problem is getting the right damage bonus with the right set, right? This one very, very rare. I just power this up all the way, even though the substat sucks. But you can see I managed to get like electro damage bonus with like electro void thunder, right? This essay shows the calculation: 4-3-3-1-1 versus 4-4-1-1-1 explained with math. Okay, so you go with this 4-3-3-1-1. So you use 2 4-cost echoes, okay? So as of this current patch, you can only apply 4-4-1-1-1 to Moonlit Clouds, Void Thunder, and Sun Sinking Eclipse. So which is the Lightning set, the Havoc set, and the... Oh yeah, the Energy Regen set. In general, 4-3-3-1-1 is preferable, but they can come very close. To understand this, let's go to the damage formula. How close are they though? Elemental damage bonus percent is additive with other damage bonus sources such as basic attack, skill, heavy, and liberation damage bonuses. That's like assuming you have perfect substats, right? What if your substats right now sucks? You have like flat defense, flat HP here, right? So there's those into equation as well. There isn't a fusion overload echo yet, so we'll use Encore as an example. So this one is 4-3-3-1-1, 4-4-1-1-1. This graph shows the difference in power between S0 and S6 Encore build with a theoretical echo set with 0 substats, with Encore being S0 or S6. In this example, no substats are in play. The difference in power between the sets is at most 10%. This decreased to just 7% gap when Encore is at S6. But let's be real, nobody has 0 substats. So with 0 substats, the difference is about 10%, the damage difference. Is 10% a lot? I feel like it can be a lot depending on how much damage you do. Let's say in 1 minute you do 1 million damage. So 10% increase is about 1.1 million. That can be the difference between you beating the boss within a certain period of time or you not being able to beat the boss within a certain period of time, right? Let's have a look with the full substats version. Okay, so with 5x crit damage, with 5x crit damage, attack percent, basic damage substats, mid-roll. Okay, this graph shows the difference in power between S0 bottom and S6 top and core build. So S0 433111 build is set as 100%. In this version, I've added 5x of each substat, but I at least use a mid-roll. Anyways, as you can see, the gap closes further between the two sets, with a difference of 3.5% difference at Encore S0 and just 1% difference at S6. So the difference is actually only about 3.5% difference. But Encore, there's no fire that provides that though, right? They didn't show any real numbers how they test. There's a Wuthering Wave DPS calculator here. GB?
There's a good amount of misinformation out there, so I'll clear it up in a few minutes.
Yo, GB kawaii!
As of patch 1.0, 44111 is exclusive to those who use Moonlit Clouds,
so is this set?
Thunder, and Sun Sinking Eclipse. As the rest of the sets do not have a second Overlord Echo class.
GB?
And with Dustbreak, their 5-piece Sonata.
Yo, GB riding the bike! Damn! GB riding... Okay, so you cannot use it for fusion type. Alright.
In general, 43311 is preferable over 44111.
Okay.
But they could come very close.
Sure.
To understand this, let's go to the damage formula. Elemental damage bonus is additive with other damage bonus sources, such as basic attack, skill.
I think in Genshin the elemental damage bonus is a separate, if I'm not mistaken.
Heavy.
Or is it a Honkai style realm?
Damage bonuses. As such, substat rolls, as well as several sequence nodes, can dilute the relative gain you're getting from the elemental damage due to diminishing returns.
Okay.
I know there isn't a second fusion Overlord Echo yet, but we'll use Encore as an example, only because I already have the calc set up for her. The following calculations use Encore's first rotation.
But if you use Encore as an example, that means the character don't have the 5-piece though, right? That means you're losing out on this fusion damage plus 30% for 15 seconds after releasing Resonance skill. I wonder would that affect the calculation, right?
And take into account all the buffs and factors
because you're only comparing 4-piece?
Including her teammates' buffs, weapons and echo buffs, etc. For more information, please check out the calculator and my associated script as they're both public.
Okay.
Here's a table with the values of 44111 versus 43311, with Encore being at S0 or S6.
So it matters more if you're free to play.
In this example, no substats are in play. The difference in power between the sets is at most 10%. Though this decreases
10% can be a lot though, right?
7% gap when Encore is at S6.
Just swipe.
But let's be real. Nobody has absolutely 0 substats. So let's look at a version with full substats.
Okay.
In this version, I added 5 times of each substat out of crit damage, attack, and basic attack. Fairly idealistic, I know, but at least I used a mid-roll for all of them.
I don't think it's idealistic at all. Crit rate and crit damage, 5 rolls.
Here,
that's really hard to achieve.
Closes further between the two sets, with only a 3.5% difference at Encore S0 and just a 1% difference at S6.
Okay.
Now that we've talked about how the numbers look like with 0 and max substats, you can clearly see the difference between the two sets is not the biggest. Only 10% at max, and only getting smaller as you get more developed teams and substats. I have no clue where some people are coming up with the narrative that the gap widens at endgame and 44111 is an early game theme and etc. But hey, that's BL's crafting for you.
4411 is an early game thing.
I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Yo, GB man. GB. I'm guessing resource-wise, yeah, the bigger the number goes, the more it becomes, right? But yeah, let me link it to you guys, the video, right? This is the video. But I think one thing that people also forget, and I think a lot of people are like, I know it's really hard. I think most people would really want 44111 because I understand how hard it is to get the 3-piece, right? But what you can also consider doing, and I think a lot of people should consider doing, is consider the 4 stars, right? Don't just look at the 5-star echo, but just for the 3-cost one, like this one you can see. This one, look, I managed to get a 4-star electro damage bonus with electro damage, you know, I mean set effect, right? Again, ideally you want 5-star, I get it, but if you get a 4-star, it's definitely usable for a while. It will be usable for a long time, especially if it's a good substat, right? But the truth is, it is like, again, you probably have plenty of this laying around. You probably have the advanced tuner for the purple ones. Everyone probably have plenty of this and you're out of the 5-star one. So just take advantage of that, right? But yeah, just check your inventory. Maybe you have some pretty good ones for the 4-star one as well. Don't be afraid to use them. Don't be shy to use them if you're trying to get a 43311. If not, worst come to worst, yeah, go for 44111.